Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, everyone? Lots to talk about on a Wednesday before tomorrow night's Thursday night matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and your Pittsburgh Steelers. Lots to talk about that game, I'm sure, throughout the stream here this evening. Also, lots to talk about off the field. Echelon, I see you in the comments. We are going to talk in depth about some wide receiver trade rumors here in a little bit during the show today. We'll talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Penguins and Pirates as well. The Pens last night losing to the Anaheim Ducks in a 10:30 puck drop game that I stayed up all night with. Probably a bad decision on my part. And also the Pittsburgh Pirates, 2 players for the Pirates up for awards for how they did this season. We will discuss all of that, starting with the football team here in a moment. First thing is first, if you're new here to the channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button so that you never miss when we are live, or hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss when we are live or upload a video again. Thank you, all of you in here right now, for helping the channel reach 600 subscribers last night. Still very much appreciate that. Also, go give the channel a like, a follow, and leave a comment in the comment section. Thoughts, questions, opinions that you may have. Get those in there. We are going to start with those comments right now. Echelon Motion Pictures, you are the first in here today. Jacoby Myers, you are a Steeler. You don't have to worry anymore. Your jersey is warming up over here in your new locker. Jacoby slowly approaching glory. We are going to get into the wide receiver trade rumors in a moment. Jacoby Myers, he is the top of that list. Tons of different reports today. One from a legitimate couple of NFL insiders, and then one from a certain account with a picture of a dog as a profile on Twitter that came in and just dropped bombshells today. We will get to that in a moment. We are going to start with the Steelers injury report and the injury report for the Bengals as well, the final injury reports for those teams here in a moment, because we got a bit of a shock with that here to kick off the show. So we will talk about that. Also, everyone else in here right now, Tyrone Keaton Concepts, welcome back, gentlemen, as always. Almost game day indeed. Back here tomorrow night, Steelers and Bengals. As a matter of fact, I can do this here. Let me see if it's right around here. There it is right there. Yes, almost game day there. Tyrone, we will be live tomorrow night for Steelers and Bengals. There is the thumbnail right there that I made up last night real quickly. The Bengals going to be wearing their all-white, I guess they call them Siberian Tiger uniforms. So presuming the Steelers, they will be in their home blacks on the road in Cincinnati tomorrow night. That should be a damn good matchup. To the comments section we go. More here. Concepts, you're here. Trade rumors galore. Indeed, they are. They are running wild. I have a feeling that you guys in here right now, you've probably seen some of them that I have seen today as well. Concepts here. Maybe Jamar Chase will be traded to the Steelers, since he apparently wants to be raw dogged by them. Sorry. Yeah, that was an absolutely wild quote by Jamar Chase right after the Bengals Packers game on Sunday. Crazy quote there. Joey Porter Jr. had a pause moment answering that in his response to that quote. So who knows? Maybe Jamar Chase will get fed up of losing with Cincinnati and hating being the little Bengals and come join the Steelers here. Echelon top target. Hopefully it happens. Yes, indeed. Jacoby Myers, top of everyone's list seemingly right now. Only a matter of time, says Echelon. And looking real quick here at one more comment before we get underway here today. 8 of you in here right now. Please smash that subscribe button. Tyrone Keaton, Elliott questionable with a personal issue. That is where we start today's show, ladies and gentlemen. Final injury reports and game designations for both the Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals are out. And Just like you said there, Tyrone, a surprise on the Steelers injury report. That is Deshon Elliott. He listed as questionable with a personal matter. Let me pop up the injury reports right here. This off of Steelers.com. You see them right there for you. Steelers did leave for Cincinnati within the past half hour, I believe. So, yeah, final injury report you see there. No Calvin Austin, no Miles Killebrew for the Steelers. That is, as expected. Killebrew probably done for the season. Austin, they're at least going to give him, another kind of a bye week here with this game being on a short week for him to get right. And then you see there as well, Malik Harrison, before we get to Elliott, Malik Harrison working his way back off of IR. His 21-day return to play window has been opened, so I doubt he goes. Rarely do you see him. Rarely do you see players just get a couple practices in off of IR and then hop right back in there, especially on a short week. So Harrison, he's mentioned there. Will he play? Maybe. I give him a slight chance to play more than others because he brings special teams contributions to the table here. So we will see if Harrison will be good to go. But then you get to Deshon Elliott right there. Did not practice today with the Steelers. Will not travel with the team as well to Cincinnati today. So Elliott not with the team currently. They say it is not injury related. It is a personal issue. He is questionable for Thursday Night Football. That's why we're starting here on the injury front today. Aside from all the trade rumors that we love to talk about. First off, prayers, thoughts with Elliott. Hopefully everything is, going all right with him and his family in this personal matter. I think we all, could come up with a couple of ideas what is going on with him, but it's not our place. We just send our thoughts and prayers with Elliott here to him and his family. And if he doesn't play tomorrow night for the Steelers, I know family and personal matters come first. No worries. I think the Steelers, at least, for this one game, with a secondary that still has Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr., Darius Slay, those guys, I do think the Steelers, without Elliott, might be able to still squeak this one out without him should he not play. Looking at the Bengals side of things right here, on your screen right there is their injury report today and game statuses. Starting here, Mike Gesicki, he is out, pectoral injury. That was confirmed earlier this week by their head coach, Zach Taylor. He has been placed on injured reserve. So Gesicki there, arguably their top tight end. I mean, they got a couple of tight ends that they sort of just rotate around. Gesicki being put on IR puts him out for this game. Also, the Steelers and Bengals, they're going to meet again in roughly a month. So he's more likely than not going to play in that one as well. So Gesicki out. Also out, Tanner Hudson there with a concussion. When we read the injury report, I believe yesterday, we expected that as well. Concussion's very tough to come back from on a short week. Limited here is guard Lucas Patrick. I wonder what that is. I wonder if they meant to put that down here. So I'm going to take that as questionable. And then two confirmed questionables here. Their return man, Charlie Jones. So good chance that both teams in this game are down their top return men. Calvin Austin, of course, punt returner for the Steelers. Keyshawn Williams will fill in for him in his place, I'm sure, again tomorrow night. And then Charlie Jones here, questionable. I know he brings returning capabilities on special teams. We'll see who the Bengals replace him with. And then the big news here, Trey Hendrickson, hip injury. I do not believe, looking here, did not practice again today here on Wednesday. So that is 3 straight days of DNP for Trey Hendrickson, and they listed him as questionable. Honestly, I think that is just a smokescreen from them. If you do not practice at all in any of the 3 days leading up to this short week game, I don't see any way with a hip injury, something that sounds pretty, serious and would be hard to play through. I have no idea how Hendrickson gets on the field Thursday night. And even if he does, with a hip injury like that, going to be pretty pivotal as for a pass rusher to use. I don't see how, if he does play, he's going to be too much of a threat like what he is at 100%. So those are final injury reports and game designations right there. The two big names, Hendrickson, questionable for the Bengals. Elliott with a personal matter. He is questionable for the Steelers. One last time, thoughts and prayers to Deshon Elliott and his family. Hopefully, this personal matter that he may be missing tomorrow night's game with is something positive and not a negative that, sort of gets automatically assumed with personal matters such as that. So now that we got that out of the way, the final injury reports ahead of tomorrow night's game, we are going to get into some of the trade rumors that we have heard today. But real quick, the comment section blowing up. Echelon, Tyrone, Concepts, talking trash with the Steelers gang back in here again. Love it, love it, love it. All of you guys in here right now. Going to try to get to all of your comments. I apologize if I pass over any. 11 of you in here right now. Hit that subscribe button. See here, CA3 expected to be back for Packers week. I think that's what the Steelers have in mind to their concepts. Austin, I mean, you're using right now the Steelers tight end personnel like crazy, especially that jumbo tight end package. Here a little bit later on, we're going to give an updated statistic when the Steelers run that jumbo personnel with Spencer Anderson and Darnell Washington. But with the Steelers doing all that right now, do you really have a use for Calvin Austin? I mean, it's not like he's going to be targeted 4 or 5 times a game when you are running that sort of personnel. So him getting back for the Packers week, all on board that idea that the Steelers committed to here. You can live without Calvin Austin against a pretty mediocre secondary on the Bengals defense. You want to get him healthy for what will be a big Sunday night game next weekend against the Packers. So absolutely agree with that. Talking trash with the Steelers gang here. Man, I've heard so much about receivers. I say F it and just throw DK every pass. Well, that seems to be the plan up to this point. F it and just throw it to DK. Rodgers, I mean, he's been targeting Metcalf, pretty much only him when he throws passes to wide receivers. Teams have, I'm surprised that they haven't been able to shut it down yet. The Steelers have been pretty much telling them, hey, we're either going to run the ball a lot with this jumbo tight end package or we're throwing it to number 4 down the field, and nobody's had an answer for it yet. Maybe that changes tomorrow night, but right now it seems to be working. But am I going to be committed the entire season to hoping that Metcalf and Rodgers are able to keep connecting without fail? No, I'm not. I'd still want to go get a wide receiver who can at least play WR1. God forbid Metcalf go down with injury or teams start doubling him every single snap. Echelon Motion Pictures in here. Low-key need Malik Harrison for special teams with Miles being out. That's what I'm saying there. With Killebrew out, I know they brought in yesterday. We talked about it before we wrapped up the show. They brought in special team All-Pro, who's a free agent, George Odom. Do the Steelers, nothing reported that they've signed him. So maybe if Harrison can't go, they elevate him from the practice squad. If not, if Harrison is, good to go, I doubt he's going to play that many, defensive snaps. Just put him out there on special teams, let him use up all his energy and effort there, and try to fill in for Killebrew until you maybe find a more longer-term replacement as the season rolls on. Real quick here, concepts again. Need Elliott bad, but I hope him and his family are okay. That's more important than anything. Absolutely. Family and stuff like that comes first. Steelers, very much could use him to help out with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but, there's more things more important in life than football. Hope everything goes well with him. If he does not go, that means we're going to need some big step-up contributions from Juan Thornhill and Jabril Peppers. If Elliott's out, expect maybe to see Jabril Peppers a ton more on defense, kind of like what they used him for in the Patriots game a couple weeks ago. Chuck Clark, he should be back, active again after being a healthy scratch last week as well. Go here again. Thoughts and prayers for Deshon Elliott. Right here says Echelon. Say what's up, chat. Nothing but love to SESR. Welcome all of you right now. 10 of you in here right now. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Says Tyrone. My dad in the chat. Boys will be ready. Think we are going to see one hell of a game from the Steelers on both sides of the ball. I think that as well. This team is fired up. Mike Tomlin, think he has a pretty bad record in his career on road Thursday night football games, but the way that this team is going right now, they are a full steam ahead locomotive coming down the tracks right now. Aaron Rodgers is slinging it. I think Rodgers, you want to talk about differences in, records here. I think Tomlin, as bad as he is on Thursday night football, I think Aaron Rodgers, he's been solid on Thursday night football. I forget what exactly it is, but I think he's like 14-4 or something on Thursday night football. Rodgers is. He's got like 42 touchdown passes. That's some pretty insane stuff from Rodgers in his career on TNF. So Tyrone here with a prediction. A-Rod finna cook 25 for 32, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. And didn't you say, Tyrone, last night, all 3 of those touchdowns going to go to DK Metcalf or something like that, at least 2 of them? Someone put in here that was, going to happen. Real quick here, back to this comment here. Yeah, boys will be ready. Steelers going to have one hell of a game on both sides of the ball. That's another thing, too. Without Deshon Elliott, we talked last night, just as big as it will be for Jalen Ramsey and Joey Porter to shut down the team, or shut down Jamar Chase and Joey Porter Jr. by themselves. That pass rush for the Steelers, it is going to be critical as well. You got Nick Herbig, TJ Watt, Derek Harmon, Cam Hayward going up against that offensive line for the Bengals. They got to get after a immobile, really, Joe Flacco. I mean, hell, he's been pretty much a statue back there in that pocket his entire career. Now that he's older, all of a sudden didn't sprout, running legs there. So, yeah, we're going to watch that. Herbig going up against Orlando Brown again, I think, too. Remember last year when these two teams met in Cincinnati, and the Steelers were being covered by Hard Knocks, that Herbig was like hyped up against this matchup with Orlando Brown, and his nickname was like Zeus or something, and Tomlin said, hey, you got to go out there and you got to kill Zeus today. And wouldn't you know it, Tomlin standing there on the sideline saying, get after him, 5-1, get after him, and boom, bends around the edge. Herbig goes in, strip sack. I think Peyton Wilson or Patrick Queen, one of the 2 middle linebackers, picked it up, ran it back for a touchdown. So looking forward to that matchup again. That's probably going to be up there with my matchups to watch. Of course, number 1 will be, Ramsey and Porter versus Slay, and Ramsey and Porter versus Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But Herbig versus Orlando Brown, that's going to be a good one. Also, the right tackle, Amarius Mims, big guy out of Georgia, second-year rookie. He's going to be going up against TJ. Is TJ going to keep up his success against, right tackles right now that are been below average? He's been eating them alive. Hopefully we get to see that here soon. Concepts here was hoping to go against Browning, but Flacco should make it interesting as well. I see a lot of quick passes and screens. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I could see that. That's really been, aside from this jumbo tight end package, they have been running some quick passes and screens really throughout the whole year. But now they've used it a ton more, especially get the ball in the hands of DK Metcalf. Love that. Let that big man with body is in front of him take off down the field. So I could see that, though. Are you really going to need to use quick passes and screens a ton in this game? I mean, Trey Hendrickson is questionable. If he's not going to be able to go for the Bengals, what sort of pass rush threat are you super worried about for this Bengals team? BJ Hill in the middle, Shamar Stewart, the rookie from Texas A&M who had like 4 career sacks for A&M or something like that. Like no one besides Trey Hendrickson, when he's fully healthy, really is scaring me on that Bengals D line. So, I mean, yeah, you can use some quick passes and screens, but the way this offensive line has steadily progressed over the past couple of games, and this, pass rush that will most likely be down their top weapon and one of the most dangerous pass rushers in the league, that's not going to really scare me. So the Steelers offense, they can be open pretty much to doing whatever the hell they want tomorrow night, in my opinion. I wrote down all the predictions from the other day. I'll put them in the chat on game day. Okay, Echelon, that sounds good. Yeah, definitely bring those back here tomorrow. I don't even remember, honestly, what I said. I might have said, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns from DK Metcalf, something like that. We'll see who is right, who is wrong. Tomorrow night, got ESPN on beside me here, and they are doing something on the Jets here, I guess. I don't know. D-line finna put fear in Flacco. I think they already are right now. I mean, yeah, Flacco's done that. Honestly, he's probably just always accepted the fear from the Steelers because most of his career he's been staring at damn good D-lines from the Steelers rushing after him. So I think he's used to it. He's just, shell-shocked at this point, nothing new. Secondary tough even without Elliott. Chuck Clark will step up if needed, or Peppers. I'm thinking more Peppers along that line. He fits Deshon Elliott's role more of a hard-hitting down in the box safety, though I'm sure, between Clark, Thornhill, and Peppers, it's going to be like a 3-man rotation in that secondary to replace Elliott if he can't go. Yeah, great depth, and it has been tested so far this season on that defense, the depth, and they have held up so far, and that's what I think gives us maybe the most hope about this team throughout the year. It's that, in years past, when a TJ Watt goes down, you're worried oh man, Alex Highsmith, I mean, yeah, what's he gonna do? Maybe he does something, but without TJ, Nick Herbig still developing. Now this year, I'm not knocking on wood here, knocking on wood all around, not saying, Steelers could live without TJ Watt. Don't want to put that energy out into the universe here, but at all positions, especially on that back end of the defense now, the secondary, the depth, it has come through in clutch so far this year. Bit of a slow start for the secondary in the first 2 games, but other than that, it's been very, very good. Concepts here, talking trash and Tyrone agree completely. The D-line will have Flacco playing a hot potato. Yeah, honestly, going back to, Concept's question, could there be passes in quick screens, that sort of stuff? The Bengals, they'll probably do that more than the Steelers, honestly, if they were smart. I mean, yeah, Flacco, he's going to drop back down there and sling it 80 yards down the field, hoping that it either gets to Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or it draws a flag. But if they were smart, they'd get their offensive line, moving, get some quick screen passes going. We'll see if they do that tomorrow night. Shut down that running game so the PA is not existent. Yeah, shutting down the run game, that'll be a good one. Chase Brown, underrated running back in that backfield for the Bengals. The Steelers, they have steadily improved. Really, it started ever since Derek Harmon came back. They have been stouter against the run. They haven't been, I won't say they've been, well, I will say they have been close as you can be to perfect over the past couple of games. I mean, they shut down, Jordan Mason with the Vikings, got him to fumble the ball. And then Quinshon Judkins, I mean, pregame for the Browns, I hyped him up as holy hell, watch out for this guy. They got a new dog with Nick Chubb out, and he was non-existent, both by the Steelers doing and the Browns just making Dylan Gabriel throw the ball nearly 60 times. PQ, finna eat he hungry TJ as well. Always good versus the Bengals. Yeah, and you know what? If we're going to win this game for a next Steeler, you want to talk about TJ playing always good versus the Bengals. Deshon Elliott, going down is one thing. And I know this dude is having a pretty rough year down in Miami. One guy I would love to have still for this game, Minkah Fitzpatrick. He always raised his compete level against the Bengals. Him and Jamar Chase always went at it. So maybe if we were to still have Minkah Fitzpatrick, I mean, sure, it is what it is for the rest of the games here, but he always, elevated his play against the Bengals. It's a division game. Joe Flacco can win this week. Can win this with a week, but it'll depend on the Bengals' defense, in my opinion. Yeah, this game is way more likely to head for shootout territory, where we see a final score like the Jets game week 1 than we are to have a 17-14 rock fight. That's for sure. PQ finna eat, you said there. Do we really need to utilize a quick pass game? I think we pound the rock, keep the game plan exactly the same, and let the defense win this game. Exactly what I was saying there, talking trash. Especially, I mean, you want to fully get the running game back. This would be a game to do it, going up against a mediocre front that, could be without Trey Hendrickson. I mean, short week here. Just pound the rock and, if Aaron Rodgers, has something, I don't want him to play, Superman ball and drop him back a ton. So let's keep Aaron upright and get him to another, somewhat long week with 10 days off, something like that. Do we really want to make Flacco throw 50 passes? If Flacco is throwing 50 passes, I mean, that'd be a bold strategy by the Bengals. If he does throw 50 passes, that would mean I think the Steelers have gotten up on them early, or they've, stifled the run. So, I mean, there are good and bad things to take away from that. If the defense can get pressure on Flacco and he throws it 50 times, I'd like to think, even though they had more than a couple of balls clank off of their hands over the weekend, I like to think Flacco's going to throw a pick or two in this game if the pass rush does its thing, like what we expect. What if we have 11 sacks and 2 picks on defense? Not rolling that out. Not rolling that all. Concepts. Minkah hates the Bengals. Yep, great take. Really wish we had Minkah still in general, but even more this week. Yeah, wish we had Minkah this week, but hey, we got to remember that, still, if we would have had Minkah, Jalen Ramsey wouldn't be here right now. And I think Ramsey, he's going to be fired up for this game, and he is going to be talking the illest of crap tomorrow night. That's for sure. Mike Tomlin show coming on. Yeah, going to watch that back here after. Freight Train in the comment here, but late. Welcome, Freight Train. Isn't Caleb from Cincinnati? Caleb Johnson. Damn, I got to go back to my pre-draft notes here, because I think when I was covering the draft, I had the hometowns of players, and Hamilton, Ohio. So Hamilton here is all right. Didn't want Caleb Johnson's full profile. Where is Hamilton, Ohio? City in Butler County, Ohio. And on the map here, it is. Zoom out here. Hamilton is more towards Indiana. Okay, so it is, it is just north of Cincinnati is Hamilton. So yeah, I guess he kind of considers him a Cincinnati kid. Wouldn't that be something if the Steelers just say, hey, Caleb, you've had a slow start to your career here. How about this? We get down to the goal line inside the 5. We're handing it to you. Pound that rock into the end zone for your first career TD. See, now I'm going back on that. See, I didn't know that. Thank you for bringing that up, Sugary, that Caleb was a Cincinnati guy. Forgot that from when I was covering the draft. Because last night, didn't I say, my bold prediction was going to be Caleb Johnson getting his first career touchdown? Now I'm waffling back the other way on that one. Now I want to say it because he's in his hometown, but I'll stick with it. I'll still say he's not going to get there yet. J-Ram, finna talk hella stuff. Yes, absolutely. JPJ and Higgins too. That's probably going to be a bigger matchup than Ramsey and Chase because, you got easily top 5 corner and top 5 wide receiver. JPJ and Higgins, that probably will be the one that makes or breaks this game. Ramsey and Chase, they're going to, get their fair share of wins against each other. But Porter, he needs to get some revenge. 6 penalties, I believe I remember, was how many he took against the Bengals in Cincinnati last year. Most of it on T. Higgins. I'm sure the Bengals, they remember that. They're going to try to get Porter to do that stuff again. So I want to see JPJ shut him down, play a clean game against Higgins. If he gets beat once or twice, I mean, so be it. Who hasn't gotten beat by Higgins, once or twice? But play a clean game, shut him down, limit him, and let, the rest of the defense do their jobs. Don't, fail miserably at your job where someone has to come and help you out, which could open up something else for the Bengals. Wish the game was tonight. I'm bored. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. Only one MLB playoff baseball game tonight because the Brewers-Dodgers series, they're traveling. It's a travel day for them. And, no football. Maybe there's a college football game. I don't know. I haven't looked at that schedule. Hockey, I mean, Penguins, they played last night. We're going to get to them here in a minute. But yeah, nothing. So kind of an off night there. Or the Steelers can at least entertain me and trade for Jacoby Myers. Now that would be insane. If it broke here on stream, we'd be going nuts. If it does break tonight, best believe we're hopping right back on here immediately. And I'll expect each and every one of you to be back here. So that would be crazy. Does Muth have a big game like he normally does against the Bengals? I mean, could be a possibility. I mean, yeah, he has kind of like, not to the degree of Minka play well against the Bengals. Muth has been a pretty good Bengal killer, though. I mean, Tomlin said his time is going to come in his press conference. Maybe that's a sight, ahead to this week. Though the Bengals, I think anytime Muth takes the field, they're going to say, hey, check 88, because he's killed us in the past. No matter how good of or bad of a year Muth could have up to this point, I think the Bengals, they're going to be wise and say, hey, let's watch 88 here because he's burned us in the past. He's not going to burn us today. Let's have the Steelers figure out a new way to do that. Muth, 4 catches for 37 yards. Yeah. Not a good year for him up until this point. But, hey, Tomlin says his time may be coming. I'm going to take his word up on that. Tomlin talking real about Herbig. Yeah, I mean, geez, they better pay that kid in the offseason. Tell you what, Herbig's been on a whole another level right now. And I want to see him go out there and go one-on-one on an island with Orlando Brown again because you talking about leaving a stationary target for Herbig, he is going to eat tomorrow night. I have that feeling. JPJ never given up a TD so far in 2 years. Yeah, he has been locked down, but it's been, the hand issues that's kept him from breaking through that ceiling into, island territory for a corner. So, yeah, big step in him will be tomorrow night going up against T. Higgins from, us officially saying the Steelers have 2 shutdown corners. He's getting close to having that moniker put on him, but don't want to give it to him yet. He's got to earn it. Go out there, shut down one of these big dogs like T. Higgins or Jamar Chase tomorrow night. 11 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. We are going to get back on track here. We sort of, for the past 15, 20 minutes, have been off talking about, all sorts of different things leading up to tomorrow night's game between the Steelers and the Bengals. We are going to get back on track here and get back into, I'm sure, more conversation between all of us. The Steelers trade rumors, they are heating up. Trade deadline, I believe it's week 8, so it's right around the corner. Week 8 or week 9 is the trade deadline. It's coming up, and the Steelers listed as a team still looking for a wide receiver. It started today, earlier today, or no, this was last night, I believe, on ESPN. Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano, two NFL insiders. I don't think on the level of Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport yet, but they are pretty solid. They came out over here with a whole bunch of stuff that they're hearing, and right here at the bottom is the one most newsworthy here to us Steelers fans. The Raiders open to trading Jakobi Meyers, but aren't actively trying to move him. I think a couple more lost to the Raiders could very easily change that. So Jakobi Meyers, he's on the trading block there. And then there was another account on Twitter that put that out there as well. And this guy, he's reaching, man, myth, legend territory. Ricky Scoops, the NFL rumor circulating Twitter profile that is, I think, during the preseason and offseason, pretty much anything that dog said came true. He reactive today for the first time in, I think the beginning of the season, came back up online here on Twitter, dropped 5 bombshells saying that, Chris Olave is being shopped by the New Orleans Saints, with teams calling them. Jakobi Meyers, he's getting shopped by the Raiders. I don't think he's piggybacking off of Graziano and Fowler there. Dropped a couple of other things as well. Might have mentioned a Steeler one in there as well. I would show you those tweets as well that Ricky put out there. Unfortunately, they got him. They got to him. Ricky, unretired, dropped multiple trade deadline bombshells, and then immediately was deactivated. Ricky Scoops off of Twitter. They took him down. The NFL and the CIA, they got to Ricky. So interesting that he dropped everything in one scoop like that. Maybe that account knew it was coming. I wouldn't be shocked if that is someone like let's just say a janitor or something, or someone who's in this in ESPN headquarters. They're hearing some stuff. Maybe it's Adam Schefter or something in ESPN headquarters. He never doesn't have his phone in his hand. Maybe he sets it down for 1 second while he washes his hands after using the bathroom. The janitor in there takes a peek at it. It's Ricky. He tweets it out. So thought that was crazy. But Olave, Meyers, according to Ricky Scoops, Ricky the dog, Olave and Meyers to be traded. And you best believe that your black and gold Pittsburgh Steelers are amongst the favorites for either of those two gentlemen. I think we can all agree here. Jakobi Meyers is the guy for the Steelers if they are going to add a wide receiver of significance before the trade deadline. 28 years old, big body, legitimate wide receiver 2 type stuff. Runs nice routes, is a dog, no pun intended on Ricky, in the running game here. So he is absolutely the guy to get if you are the Steelers and you want to round out the passing attack on the offense. It's all about, making the right deal, getting the deal in place with the Raiders. I don't see how Meyers stays in Vegas, to be honest. Same thing with Chris Olave. He's approaching a payday with the New Orleans Saints. He's going to be wanting out. New Orleans, they're in the dead, middle of a rebuild right now. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm sure Olave is going to want out. He might be more of a higher price tag than Meyers, but still, I'd pick him up in a heartbeat. Yes, he's had the concussion and health issues, but you want to talk about, if you lose Metcalf, the littlest drop-off possible, aside from A.J. Brown, who's, still under contract with the Eagles. Aside from Brown, you want to talk about having the littlest drop off if Metcalf were to go down between your wide receiver and 1 and 2, Olave would be the guy. So, massive stuff today from Graziano and Fowler, hitting on some trade rumors. Ricky the dog, Ricky Scoops, he chimes in today as well. NFL Twitter exploded. And Olave, Myers, we are on watch for either of those two men to be traded. As far as I care for the until the trade deadline passes, there's going to be, of course, other guys that are going to be thrown out there as potential options for the Steelers. I still think, there's some GM out there or a couple of people who legitimately think that if things keep going the way they are with the Eagles, A.J. Brown could be had for the right price, though I'm kind of souring on that. Not because, not for A.J. Brown, the talent, but because, we forget who's doing the negotiation in these trades. I mean, Omar Khan, he's a hell of a trade negotiator, getting a lot back with giving up a little, but Howie Roseman, he's pretty much the epitome of that in Philadelphia. So if I, can avoid a trade with Howie Roseman in the Eagles, the in-state rival, I'm going to do it. So sticking with Olave and Myers first. Also, Jalen Waddle, apparently he might be available as well. Don't know about that. New York Giants insider Wesley Steinberg, I believe he mentioned Olave to the Giants a little while ago. He now today posted a GIF of a penguin waddling on ice, so I think that's a implication for Waddle. If it's not, Brown, Olave, Myers, Waddle, then we fall back to still decent but not as sexy options like Rashid Shaheed, Alan Lazard, as much as I hate saying that. Maybe Jawan Jennings out in San Francisco. DeAndre Hopkins, I heard, could be had because the Ravens are just so terrible right now. So we'll keep an eye on those fronts as we move along right here. And RIP the Twitter run of Ricky the dog. Hopefully he comes back sooner rather than later. To the comment section we go here. I'm sure tons of talk about hypothetical trades and who could be coming to the Steelers. Don't forget about Pierre Island too, says Concepts. Yeah, James Pierre, I gotta admit, I owe him a bit of an apology. I mean, I knew he was going to be a core special teams guy, but him making the team was, maybe not my favorite addition. However, in the relief role he's been on, he's been excellent in the secondary for the Steelers so far this year. Echelon here. Nobody offensively is having, per se, a good year except for DK. The offense needs to be way more efficient in the pass game. Everybody got something to say about Muth, but Jonnu ain't doing nothing crazy either. Yeah, I do think that Muth takes a ton of the attention here in, the passing game not being Super Bowl contending stuff yet. Jonnu Smith, we brought in with Jalen Ramsey. He was supposed to be, an excellent target alongside Muth in the passing game, coming off a career year with the Dolphins, and just hasn't been able to do that up to this point. Maybe he and Muth turn it around. Who knows? Richard, come back, please. I'm glad to see that. I'm not the only one in here who was following Ricky Saints as some sort of a superhero in the night, dropping bombshells on us. Everyone took that stuff and ran with it. They say in Miami wants a first for Waddle, Jalen Waddle. Nope. That is automatically a no conversation starter right there. First round pick out of the conversation. Second round pick. I will admit, I have now started to open up more about trading a second round pick for a big name like an Olave or an AJ Brown. But still, that's a kind of a, no for me right now. I don't think the Steelers are going to be needing to trade up for a quarterback in the draft the way the college football season's going right now. All the quarterbacks that were supposed to be, can't miss first-round prospects in this year's draft. They've all pretty much fallen to crap, so maybe a second-round pick, but yeah, no first-round pick I'm giving up for Jalen Waddle. Yeah, that's crazy, but always start high, I guess. Yeah, I mean, well, what was their initial asking price for Jalen Ramsey, if we remember back? I mean, of course, that was, an off-season deal where you didn't have a ticking clock on you to get a deal done, but didn't they say they were going to start Ramsey at a day 2 pick as the conversation starter? And then it ended up coming back to what? A 4th and a 5th? And I mean, well, Minkah Fitzpatrick was trade there, but I think Minkah, at the end of his time here in Pittsburgh, he was worth maybe a 3rd or a 4th and change, and that's what they gave up essentially in that deal. I'm surprised he didn't say anything about Rashid Shaheed. Are you talking about Flower and Graziano or Ricky or me there? But yeah, Rashid Shaheed, he'd be an okay option. You're talking about pretty much a middle of the pack wide receiver too. He's sort of like right there. He's not gonna, be number 1 at any sort of time, but you want a guy who's like could be a low end to middle average wide receiver too. I guess he'd be the guy there. Olave's concussions worry me, especially us being in the AFC North, smash mouth football. Yeah, that does not mix well. Olave's concussions with the AFC North, but we want to think back to it. Muth, he had concussion problems early on in his career, and he has been all right with those for the past year or 2 years. So maybe something changes up here. Also, Olave, he ain't going to be the number 1 target here on the Steelers, where safeties can, come downhill and blast him every now and again. He's just going to be another one of the guys instead of the guy, which could benefit immensely for him. And when he won't, get that extra attention, all those extra bodies on and around him. So wish Olave, whether he becomes a Steeler or not, the best for the rest of his career with concussions. Us Pittsburgh sports fans, we know all about concussions. Sidney Crosby dealing with those in hockey early on in his career. A 4th or a 5th for Myers. I think the Raiders right now, if I had to guess, they're probably asking for a 3rd. But, if Omar Khan can get Myers in a 4th, and then maybe he does like he always does in seemingly all of his trades, mix in that late round pick swap, like say a 4th and a 6th to the Raiders for Myers in a 7th. I'd be all right with that, or a 4th and a 5th, like you said there, for Myers in a 6th or a 7th. I could be on board with that deal. Talking trash here. We got our hands full with Flacco. We'll see. I mean, Mike Tomlin, he sure still is very worried about Joe Flacco and what he can do against the Steelers, but we got to take into account what he's looked like so far this year, throwing picks left and right. At least that was with the Browns. The Bengals game, I think his stat line looked all right, but that was also mainly trying to play catch up. A 5th for Myers, says Talking Steelers. That'd be no complaints on my end if you get Myers for a 5th. No complaints at all. I say one more week and trades will start flying. Raiders, Giants, Saints, a couple more teams need to lose first. Yeah, I think once teams kind of like the Ravens hit, 1-5, 1-6 territory, and they're going to see the writing on the wall, then you will see some ship-offs there. No Alan Lazard, yeah, he is probably near the last name on my list of wide receivers to get. I know he's Rodgers' guy, but if it didn't work if it hasn't worked in the past couple of years, how's it going to work here? Myers, legit the perfect fit here for this offense. All-around quality player with no holes in his game, would open up the offense a ton. DK Myers, CA3 would be insane. Yes, indeed. However, I think another thing the Steelers are taking into effect here with wide receiver trades is that I don't think they want to lose any of the 5 wide receivers they have right now. I mean, Metcalf, Austin, those guys aren't going anywhere. Still, you'll keep Roman Wilson because he's a 3rd-round pick. Maybe I give a slight possibility that, the way the Steelers have used Roman Wilson, he could be going back in a trade here. But, Scotty Miller, I think the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers like him, and also he provides special teams capabilities. Same thing with Ben Skoranek, who's another big body who blocks in the pass game and is a dog on special teams. So I think the Steelers right now, the trade part might be easy for them in Omar Khan. He can make a good trade with a lowly team like the Raiders or the Bears in his sleep. But I think the harder part, in the Steelers' mind, honestly, is which of those 5 wide receivers, or really 3 wide receivers, Wilson, Miller, and Skoranek, which of those 3 do they maybe want to, expose, try to, sneak on to the practice squad, cut him and sign him back to the practice squad? I don't know. So we'll see. Wild, random, hypothetical. Browns trade Jerry Jeudy to the Steelers for a 4th or 5th round pick. What's your honest reaction? If so, I want Myers. Just having fun. Well, 2 things on that. If this was, say, before the Steelers played the Browns, then yeah, I mean, hell, the Browns, they're doing in-division trades, sending Flacco to the Bengals. Sure, why not? Not ruling that out, the possibility. However, concepts, let's just remember that Mike Tomlin just called out Joe Barry 48 hours ago, saying Joe Barry must have been a whole hell of a lot smarter than me because it makes absolutely no sense, the trade he made sending Flacco to the Bengals. So Tomlin just absolutely buried Browns GM Andrew Barry. There's no way that the Steelers or Browns make a trade anytime soon. I mean, especially, with Andrew Barry still there. So I would be down for a hypothetical trade like that. Getting Jerry Jeudy, absolutely. I'd love that. I think he, similar type to Jacoby Myers, maybe not as useful in the run game on a run heavy team like the Steelers. But yeah, Jeudy to the Steelers, no way. Tomlin just absolutely ripped them, called them all a bunch of dumbasses, called Andrew Barry a fake smart guy. Not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Echelon, my trades, Trey Hendrickson to the 49ers. I did see that. 49ers expected to heavily pursue Trey Hendrickson. If you're the Bengals, I mean, why the hell or not? Clearly, you got too much money tied up in Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. Your defense already sucks. What the hell's the point, keeping Hendrickson here on that defense anyway? You're going to use pretty much every single draft pick you have next year on the defensive line again, another 1st round pick for the D line. Might as well, ship out Hendrickson now. You're not going to pay him. Get at least something back for him before he walks, and you can use those picks on a pass rusher in the draft. Got to contain Flacco, pressure in his face. Honestly, that's probably the easiest part about Flacco. Containing him, what, he's going to scramble out of the pocket? There's absolutely no way Aaron Rodgers has a better chance of, taking it, scrambling to the house 80 yards than Flacco does, running for a 20-yard gain and picking up a 1st down. I also reported Jacoby didn't practice today. Interesting. I'm sure, he'll still play, maybe. Or, but didn't Devontae Adams pull that last year or 2 years ago with the Raiders? Was not going to practice until he got traded. Jacoby was at practice in street clothes, didn't practice, was there supposedly. So, I mean, I think, I'm not going to read into that too much. It could be, veteran rest day. Who the hell knows? I want to be a Steeler. I mean, Jacoby Myers, if he becomes a Steeler, we are all going to go knucking futz on here to no end. We're going to be going cuckoo over that one. Highsmith, Watt finna take over. Highsmith, Watt, Herbig. I'm throwing those 3 guys plus Cam Hayward and Derek Harmon. And good luck trying to have the Bengals offensive line match up 5-on-5 with those guys. Good luck. That's all I can say. Concepts here. Love Jeudy at Bama. Yeah, Sig. Lots of wide receivers we loved at Bama. They, LSU, Ohio State, those seem to be the 3 big wide receiver producing colleges. You're talking about more on the way. I would love nothing more then it is my dream, my most insane pipe dream, never going to happen, that let's say Rodgers comes back next year, right? Will Howard maybe takes over for him, shows he's the guy next year if Rodgers gets hurt. And then Will Howard, he's the guy. You go, you get Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, and you reunite that duo. That'd be my biggest pipe dream at all. He did call him smart. JK, you're spot on. Remember, it's still the Browns at the end of the day. Barry may not be smart enough to realize it was an insult. He did trade for Diddy Watson. Yeah, he did. I mean, how the hell is he not fired yet? Honestly. The only thing he's done is maybe build up an average defense that the Steelers just exposed. I mean, you pay a dude with many SA allegations $250 million. You make all these quarterback trades with Kenny Pickett. You double draft at 2 positions in this year's draft. You were forced to give Myles Garrett $40 million a year because he wanted to leave, and you trade your starting quarterback from this year to a division rival. That's just absolutely insane to me. We got to blitz some too. Yeah, just blitz a couple times at Flacco, get him uneasy, and then I think, once maybe the offense hopefully gets up a couple of scores, then you can rush 4, drop the defense back, cover up everything downfield. I want to break the offensive line early to where when we do get to the point where they rush 4, I want those 4 to feel like 40 because they have been just so hard to handle over the past couple of weeks. Daredevil everywhere, with me everywhere. Man, some Steeler junkies in here, LOL. Yep, you're one of them. They're talking trash. Lots of Steeler junkies in here, that's for sure. 16 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Please hit that subscribe button on your way in. Real quick here, we started the stream this evening with 601 subscribers. We now gained another one. We're up to 602, so thank you to that beautiful new subscriber. Going to switch gears here, ladies and gentlemen, just for a minute. We will get back into some football talk here in a little bit, but we got one more segment before we hit up the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment of the night. And we're going to go to hockey real quick, and we are going to go out west, just talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins here for a tiny bit. Last night, beginning a 3-game, I believe, West Coast road trip in Anaheim against the Ducks. It was their home opener. Some lineup changes to the Pens before last night's game. The most notable, young defenseman Harrison Brunick, who has been impressing on all levels throughout the preseason and into the regular season. He was a healthy scratch last night against the Ducks. Pens head coach Dan Muse said, "We're looking at what's best for him and his development. It'll be a part of the plan for both Harrison Brunick and Ben Kindle, both of those rookies in the midst of their 9-game tryouts before the Pens have to make a decision or not to send them back to their junior teams. It'll all be a part of a plan for them laid out by management and the coaching staff. They're in a different position because of their age, and we want to put them in the best position to succeed." So interesting choice, Harrison Brunick getting the night off last night for the Pens. Honestly, I could maybe, I think I understand that. I think Brunick, more than Kindle, has a fantastic chance at staying on the Pens the entire year. So it's kind of like a pitcher in baseball and how many innings he pitches. You don't want the pitcher to all of a sudden in 1 year pitches 120 innings and then you see next year it bump up to like 160 or something like that, 180, and then you risk injury and fatigue with him. I think the same thing goes here with Brunick. He's only played junior hockey in portions of an AHL season, so this is going to be his first, full 82-game NHL season. Giving him a night off every now and again like this, I'd be all right with. Sort of limit his time out there on the ice. Make sure he stays 100% ready. Also, a couple other updates and changes to the Pens lineup last night. Tristan Jarry, the tank master, was in goal last night. Chris Letang did take warm-ups for the Pens. He left early in Saturday's game against the Rangers, left early in the third period, did not return. He was good to go and played last night. Also, slotting into the lineup for the first time this season, Matt Dumba and Connor Clifton, those two gentlemen who were brought in via trade in the offseason. Both of them had decent preseasons, but the younger Brunick and Caleb Jones have been in the lineup over them. Dumba and Clifton slotting in, making their Pens debuts last night, and they did pretty good, in my opinion. And then the last lineup change for the Pens last night, Philip Tomasino was back in the lineup on the third line. Noel Acciari came out onto the game itself last night, stayed up for the entire thing, 10:30 puck drop. And for at least the first period of that game, it was all juice. I mean, you'd forget the late night coffee. That game between the Pens and the Ducks last night, for the most part, it was back and forth action. Defense was optional, fast paced, up and down the ice hockey, hard hits, fast skaters, all of that good stuff. It was the Pens who struck first in the first period last night. Late night Brazzers. No, not that type of Brazzers. Justin Brazeau, who has quickly had that interesting nickname put upon him. He stays red hot. He gets his fourth goal of the season just over a minute into play. I did not expect this from that guy. I thought he was just going to be, bounce between the third and fourth line guy, grinder, big body, get in there on the forecheck. But on a line with Evgeny Malkin in that so far, he clearly has something going on with Gino where he is finding the back of the net right now. So Justin Brazeau, have yourself a start to the season. Also off to a solid start this season, Ricard Raquel, the former Anaheim Duck, gets one against his former team a little bit later on in the first period last night. On that goal from Raquel, Sidney Crosby got an assist off the faceoff. He now sits in ninth place all time in career assists in NHL history with 1,064. Another player who had a good period, I believe this guy had 2 assists, Ryan Shea, Pens defenseman. He was everywhere in that first period. So good start to the Pens. And then after that, things came crashing on down. This guy moved from Broadway to the beach. Chris Kreider, former New York Ranger, who was traded out to the Ducks in the offseason, was a Pens killer with the Rags. He's a Pens killer with the Ducks, right in front on the power play for the Ducks. Puts one home past Tristan Jarry. The Ducks tied the game late in the first period. Cutter Gauthier, the Philadelphia Flyers prospect who didn't want to play for the Flyers, don't blame him. He got one past Jarry, just an absolute one-time ripper. So it was 2-2 heading into the second period, and penalties started to become an issue for the Penguins. They did have a couple good kills in there. Connor Clifton was a dog out there on the PK. Brian Rust, solid penalty killer. But the Ducks in the second period, they went up 3-2. Believe Tristan Jarry, and it was Magnus Hellison or something, defenseman for the Ducks, had a shot, went through a couple of bodies, but it was something that I still think was savable for Jarry. That made it 3-2. On to the third period, Pens looking to tie up the game. Sidney Crosby with a high IQ play. Evgeny Malkin in his offensive zone with the puck in neutral zone. He goes for a change. Crosby jumps on the ice, waits for Malkin to get off, picks up the puck, comes in 2-on-1 with Anthony Mantha. Saucer pass over the stick of the Ducks defenseman, and a little bit of puck luck for Mantha. His shot goes off the stick of a back-checking Ducks player over the goaltender Dostal. Pens tie it 3-3. Game last night looked like it was destined to go to overtime, but then the penalties bit the Pens in the ass one more time. Parker Wotherspoon, a very clear delay of game penalty. It took the Ducks, I think, no more than 15 seconds on their power play with under 2 minutes to go to put in the game winner. Chris Kreider, again on the power play, tic-tac-toe play from the high slot, beat Jari. He had no chance. So the Ducks, they took a 4-3 lead. Pens tried to tie it up with the extra skater, but there was a tripping penalty from Chris Letang that negated that. Final score last night between the Pens and the Ducks. Going to pop it up right here on the screen for you right now, 4-3. And the Pens, they had the energy, but this ultimately was not a game that I thought they were, going to win. Shots on goal, they did win 28-21. When you are beating the other team this much in the shot on goal department and you don't beat the goaltender most times, that's going to be an issue. The biggest issue right here, 6 penalties called on the Pens last night. The Ducks with 2 power play goals, and that goes to just the Ducks 1 power play or 1 penalty. And it wasn't even, a legitimate penalty on the Ducks. It was, they challenged the Anthony Mantha goal for offsides. That was ruled a good goal, and they got a delay of game penalty off of that. So the referees, in the favor of the Ducks last night, but the Pens, hard work. You could see the downfall coming in a hurry, and now we're back to 2-on-2 on the season for the Pens. The tank for Gavin McKenna, it is alive and well. Those first 2 games of the season, those were our feel-good moments. And now we're back into maybe looking forward to the future with Gavin McKenna in Happy Valley. Pens, they will continue their West Coast road trip tomorrow night. We'll be live for the Steelers and Bengals, but the Pens and Kings, 10 o'clock puck drop tomorrow night. I don't think there's any way that we're going to make it through that one after, watching the Steelers and the Bengals. That team is going to, give us enough heart attacks, I'm sure, already. And, we'll see how the Pens do tomorrow night. And we'll all talk about it back here on Friday. And to wrap up talking about the Pens and Ducks here, just want to send thoughts and prayers the way of Penguins play-by-play guy, Josh Getzoff. Second intermission last night for the Pens. Was listening to Getzoff. As a matter of fact, I finished the game. I finished the third period in a different room. I watched, the second period of that game in this room, and I'm like, all right, we go to intermission. We come back from intermission, and all of a sudden, Joe Brand is calling the game. The Penguins radio broadcaster, he's calling the game on TV. So I'm like, all right, what's up with that? During the second intermission out there in Anaheim, reports came out. Apparently, Getzoff fainted or passed out in the press box or the broadcaster's booth during that second intermission break. Thank goodness, it wasn't during, while the play was going on. Was, taken away in a wheelchair. He was awake and alert to his surroundings. And thankfully, Phil Bork, who was the radio play-by-play guy, took it the rest of the way once Joe Brand switched over to the TV side. He did say on the air that Getzoff was okay and will continue with the trip. So, maybe Getzoff dehydrated or something like that. I don't want to speculate, but hopefully everything is okay with him, and glad to hear that, he was alert and that he will continue on the trip. So hopefully smooth sailing here. Thoughts and prayers for Josh Getzoff nonetheless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the evening in a moment. Going to get into that in a minute here, but let's real quick get caught up on some of the comments here. Lots of you leaving comments. I appreciate it. Flacco, late. Hey, glad you're here, Flacco. I was wondering when you and Freight Train would show up. Looks like we got salutes in the chat to everyone, and including my dad right here. And was going to save this for the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen, but we've been in here quite a while now, and usually when we start the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment, the viewership tends to, die down. Want to say out there on screen, I know you're watching right now, happy birthday, Dad. Love you. Thank you for all you did. Thank you for all your support of me trying to build this channel here. And looking forward to having you in this chair right behind me for many more Steelers games and live streams in the future. So happy birthday, Dad. Hopefully all of you give my dad a big happy birthday in the comment section right now. Back to the comments real quick here. TJ, look ready heating on the plane to a 2-sack game. I did see a picture of them walking to the plane. As a matter of fact, they probably for as long as we've been live right now, I think they took off right as we went live. They might already be on the ground right now. So the whole entire time the Steelers have been in the air on their flight to Cincinnati, we've probably been live for here. Shout real quick here. You guys think after Bengals, the Steelers hit a roadblock? I mean, that's always on our minds there, Flacco. We saw it last year. Steelers, easy start to the year, got out to that hot 8-2, 8-3 start, and then boom, Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, Baltimore Ravens at the height of their powers. All those teams came and punched this team in the mouth and really ended their season before they even played the playoff game. So no doubt the Steelers could hit the roadblock because you look at their schedule. You got the Green Bay Packers. I feel right now a week and change out from that game. I do feel confident the Steelers heading into that Packers game, but also they're going to be a tough game. The Chargers, not going to take them lightly. The Indianapolis Colts, who would have thought they'd be a juggernaut right now, and then your last couple games of the season here, you got the Bills right after the Chicago Bears, so you're going up against two good offenses there. Well, Bills, that's coming into question now. If you can shut down the running game and Josh Allen, you can maybe stop them. And then second to last game or third to last game of the year, I think, you got the Lions. And then the Ravens, you probably have Lamar Jackson back then in the final game of the year. So, yeah, Steelers definitely could hit that roadblock, Flacco. Let's just see. Hopefully, now that you've got a legitimate guy in Aaron Rodgers back there, one of the all-time greats, hopefully he can keep you from hitting that roadblock and having it derail your season. I heard Olave for a third, says Tyrone. I'd give up a third for Olave. I mean, day 2 picks, I've been, sort of iffy on giving those up with this team not having a long-term quarterback in the fold right now. But with the way the quarterback draft class is, I'm opened up more to trading off day 2 picks, especially the third. And there's a good chance you're going to get a third back from one of your, compensatory situations going on out there. Appreciate your time, Big Dog. And in the comment section, got different comments here right now. Happy birthdays in the chat to my dad. Schedule does get much tougher, like Lance said. Full unit right now. The Steelers can't keep that full unit right now. That will also help, keep this team rolling through those tough matchups. I think we'll be just fine. Let's concentrate on tomorrow. Defense put Flacco on his ass all night. Offense comes to play. We will be just fine. That's what I want to see, especially more than the defense, shutting down Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. There's always still the possibility that the defense with those two wide receivers and that quarterback who likes to chuck it deep downfield, still solid chance that they have a good game and that the Bengals offense all of a sudden can put up somewhere between 24 to 28 points. They might even reach 30, honestly. But the Steelers offense, they have no reason why they shouldn't go out there and at least put up a 30 spot on the Bengals defense tomorrow night. If they lose and say the defense, gives up a ton to Flacco, and the offense will all right, at least the offense, did their part and kept the game close. But if this offense can't, produce at all, then that's a problem. So, yeah, we need the offense to put on a show tomorrow. I expect to hit the touchdown thing a whole bunch tomorrow night, the touchdown graphic on here. And then before we continue on here, past 2 or 3 years, our play end of November till playoffs, I worry the most. Yeah, I have a different feeling about this team. If the defense can stay healthy, they got a ton of swagger going on right now. And Rodgers, he's pretty much done it all in the league. If anybody's going to know how to navigate this team through the dog days of the season and navigate through those treacherous waters, I have confidence that he'd be the one to do it. Harmon has been a huge addition and a rook. He gets a double team every play and still has made some plays. And he, I think himself yesterday, we talked about it, said, yeah, sure, sacks and getting to the quarterback, doing all of that, aesthetically pleasing stuff is good. But he said he loves stopping the run more. So you got a dog like Harmon who just, I got a job to do. I'm going to do it. And I may not be the guy that gets the most praise at the end of the day, but I will be one of the biggest factors. I love that from Harmon. Honestly, one of my favorite things. 14 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Going to continue with the extra Pittsburgh sports news here in a moment. But real quick, let's just take a quick stroll here through Twitter, see if we have anything new that has come out in the hour and 20 minutes we have been live now. I am seeing now those posts about Jacoby Myers not practicing today. Tons of different accounts posting that, and I think we're all feeling this way right now, seeing that Myers didn't practice. I think we all are approaching it with this right here. That face right there. Oh, Myers ain't practicing? Okay. Taking a couple more scrolls here, see if we have anything else going on here. Tell you what, I'm seeing tons of highlight videos of new Pitt quarterback Mason Heinschel. Man, my enthusiasm in anticipation watching Pitt football, that thing went from 0 to 60 in about 2 weeks with that kid at the helm for my Pitt Panthers. I'll tell you that much. I just saw something absolutely hilarious here. The Minnesota Wild, apparently last night, gave up quite the amount of goals. Posted a picture of someone laying on a therapist couch, spouting off their problems. And the Wild put in the caption, and they scored again. Someone commented, "Can you take this seriously?" And the Wild admin said, "Do you want me to get on the ice or what?" That's hilarious. I love when admins for pro sports teams have fun like that. Also here, is from Mary Kay Cabot. Follow her on Twitter. Top beat writer and reporter for the Browns. Myles Garrett came outside and practiced after it was closed to the media. He was nowhere to be found during the open media portion of practice today. So looks like Mr. Garrett doesn't want to answer for his one tackle performance against the Steelers. But PFF said this. PFF said he was better than TJ Watt. Get the hell out of here. Sick of that crap. All right, we are going to do some extra Pittsburgh sports news talking right now. We are going to get back into the Steelers, I should say, and we talked about it on here, I think, Monday, maybe a little bit yesterday as well. The grass issue at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday that was just absolutely abysmal. It has not died down in terms of a newsworthy topic. According to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, per NFL Player Association sources, both players from both teams from Sunday's game, the Steelers and the Browns, almost immediately contacted the Player Association Union to express outrage about the embarrassing conditions of the grass at Acrisure Stadium. The NFLPA then conveyed the concern to the NFL itself. The Steelers, or I shouldn't say the Steelers, they're not in control of it. Acrisure Stadium crew did resod the field immediately after the game on Sunday. So tons of outrage about the grass here at Acrisure Stadium. Maybe something better coming down the line here. Honestly, just I don't understand why the NFL is still, not giving the players what they want. If all the players want one thing, why not give it to them? Just make it easier, protect the investment that you're putting into your team here. I don't get it. Also, amongst those many players that have expressed their outrage on the fact, their former players have as well. Ben Roethlisberger on his football and podcast I have seen fans a bunch take this route in blaming one thing for the field conditions at Acrisure Stadium. And Ben took that way here. I don't think Pitt should play there anymore. I firmly believe Pitt should put a 35,000 person stadium in Oakland. Ben, you aren't the first person to say that Pitt should have their own stadium. Also, me, I love my Pitt Panthers. I think they should have their own stadium as well. Save that grass here for the Steelers. In this case, though, tons of people, taking shots at Pitt here, saying, you got Miles Killebrew hurt. You almost caused our kicker to get hurt. Can we, remember here that Pitt hasn't played at Acrisure Stadium in, almost 2 weeks now? They were in Tallahassee at Florida State over the weekend, so that's 2 weeks that the grounds crew at Acrisure Stadium, they probably could have resodded and had the new grass down if they would have immediately done it after Pitt played and beat Boston College. You had the Steelers on a bye week and Pitt was going down to Florida State. I don't know why they didn't do it then, or at least keep it at a better condition, because the green of that grass didn't really look all that green. So I do agree with the notion. Pitt, I would love to see them get their own stadium. I think that'd be beneficial for both them and the Steelers, but just crushing my Pitt Panthers on this one. I don't really get it. Moving on here with some extra Steeler talk here. We talked a ton about Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco here this evening. We're going to do it one more time here. Flacco today didn't take him as a guy who posts to his Instagram story all that much, but Joe Flacco posting this to his Insta story today. Of course, tagging Aaron Rodgers right there. Wonder what this picture here means. Time's a ticking on both our careers. Time's ticking down to the last time you and I possibly meet up face-to-face in a game. Time's ticking, because I'm going to beat you on Thursday night. I don't know there, but found that interesting from Joe Flacco. They're calling this the Unk Bowl, the Unction. Cam Hayward yesterday called it the Icy Hot Bowl. It should be a entertaining game between two great, smart minds in football, but two guys who are safe to say past their primes. Though Rodgers, he's taking us back to his prime a little bit here. That's for sure. Wrapping up the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day. Just a couple of things on them. Talking about Flacco, let's go to the team that traded him. The Cleveland Browns, in their radio, has been just demolishing the Browns lately. And Mary Kay Cabot, who we just talked about, she was on Cleveland radio today, and she said that Kenny Pickett suffering that hamstring injury in training camp, that really derailed all plans that the Browns had for this season. He was supposed to start the season as the starter, and who knows, might have still been the starter for that game over the weekend. So thought that was interesting from Cabot. If Kenny Pickett doesn't get hurt, then just think about it. Steelers, they have a chance instead of going after Dylan Gabriel to, chase after Kenny Pickett for 60 minutes. Joe Flacco probably gets cut by the Browns, and wherever in the hell in the league he is. And we'd still be playing Jake Browning most likely tomorrow night, or at least someone else other than Joe Flacco. So crazy how everything changed like that. It said earlier at the start of the show we were going to get back into some Steelers stat talk. We talk about this jumbo tight end package a lot. The Steelers updated stats when they have Spencer Anderson and Darnell Washington out on the field at the same time has now gone up to 32 plays. Passing the ball, they are 11 for 11 for 103 yards. Running the ball, they've run the ball 21 times for 120 yards and a touchdown. Little over 5.5 yards per carry. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm sending Darnell Washington and Spencer Anderson out there as much as I please. Also, we mentioned getting turnovers will be key for the Steelers tomorrow night. You get pressure on Joe Flacco. He gets wild with the ball. Maybe throws a couple of picks. This year, probably the most post-to-post, complete opposite stat. The Steelers, when they have turned the ball over, the defense has allowed 0 points. The Bengals, when they have turned the ball over, they have allowed a league-high 52 points off of those turnovers. Get a couple of fumbles. Pick off Flacco. Whatever you can. Get the ball away from Joe Flacco in this Bengals offense. Take the ball away a couple of times early, and we'll be running smooth. Last Steelers note here for the night. Cool gesture here. Wonder what provoked it. Mel Blount, Steelers legendary corner, took all the Steelers corners, the entire cornerback room, out to dinner Friday night before the Browns game. So thought that was pretty cool. They all got a picture together. Blount, of course, standing tall in that picture there. Tell you what, Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, they're not as tall as Blount, of course, but they're up there. Corey Trice, though, he's almost eye to eye with Blount. Thought that was pretty crazy. Man, wish Trice would be healthy. You're talking about having a corner room that would be truly like maybe the best in the NFL. Corey Trice were to, just stay healthy and show some of that potential or, length that they compare him and Joey Porter Jr. together with. That'd be outstanding there, honestly. Switching gears here in the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment, just to the Pittsburgh Pirates here for a minute. We got a couple of congratulations to hand out. Gold Glove Award finalists were revealed today, and 2 Pirates are up for Gold Gloves, of course. This shouldn't come as a shock to anyone. Jared Triolo, for the second or third year in a row, is a finalist for the Gold Glove as a utility player. Would not be shocked if he gets it again. I mean, won it last year. Honestly, could be in consideration for a platinum glove. He is that smooth with the glove. And then this one, kind of a shock, but also when you think about it, also not a shock. Tommy Pham, a Gold Glove Award finalist amongst left fielders. He was second in the National League in defensive runs saved with 5, behind only Ian Happ with 9, who he too is a finalist for the Gold Glove. So congratulations to those two, Pham and Big Tree. Also, we'll mention him here, Key Brian Hayes at third base. He again is a Gold Glove finalist. They have him as they have him with 2 teams listed here, Pirates and Reds. Of course, he did most of that with the Pirates. Would not be shocked if he gets another Gold Glove. And yeah, good luck to all of those gentlemen. Tommy Pham, however, if he does win this Gold Glove here, or hell, he even just being a nominee or a finalist, might get him a couple of extra bucks on the free agency market. So say goodbye to Tommy Pham, ladies and gentlemen. If he wins this Gold Glove award, probably going to price himself out of Pittsburgh. And by price himself out of Pittsburgh, I mean they're going to not be able to bring him back for more than, $4 million. And $4 million, by the way, is exactly what former Bucco Austin Hedges signed with the re-signed, I should say, with the Cleveland Guardians last night. A 1-year, $4 million deal there. Also, just sort of going off topic here to the Cleveland Guardians, hearing reports out there that whatever Emmanuel Clase, their closer, did, where he was, pretty much taken out of baseball or given a indefinite leave without pay, sounds like he's pretty guilty, allegedly, with whatever gambling or whatever he was doing. Makes you wonder, could Luis Ortiz be involved with that, the former Pirate who we traded to Cleveland for Spencer Horwitz? Last two things here on the Bucks today. If the Pirates were in any sort of, a mood to actually spend money and compete and be a competent baseball team, report last night, Alex Bregman, the longtime third baseman for the Houston Astros, spent, I think, last year, maybe the past 2 years, with the Boston Red Sox. He is opting out of his contract with the Red Sox and will become a free agent. Maybe the Pirates, third base, pretty big need for them now that Hayes is gone. You want to bring in a guy who knows winning and, could be still a solid contributor in your lineup in the twilight of his career. You want to push all in here with the little time you have with Paul Skeens. Alex Bregman would be a guy to do it. But then, again, we must remember that these are the Pirates. And wrapping up here with Pirates news, happy birthday to Pirates bench coach Mendy Lopez. Big beard on him. Always seems to be a good vibes guy in that Bucco's dugout. Happy birthday to him. And wrapping up here with just some extra hockey talk here for the night. Josh Yohe, who was, I think, reporting all of that Josh Getzoff stuff last night. Again, thank goodness Getzoff appears to be all right. He, in his newest Athletic article, put out that Erik Karlsson and Rickard Rakell may well be traded by the deadline, saying, I have a feeling, though, that those two will go, but that Brian Rust would stay. Honestly, seems pretty logical to me. Rakell, coming off of last year, looks like he's going to be a solid contributor. Once again, he could fetch you a pretty penny on the trade market. As he, I think, approaches, the last year or two of his contract with the Pens, and then Karlsson. I mean, if this team is going to be, out of the race by the time the trade deadline rolls around, Karlsson through, 4 games now this year, looks like he's back to Ottawa Senators, Erik Karlsson. He's a pretty, solid guy on the blue line, jumping up in the play a bunch. Kind of all the Pens defensemen are doing that. But hey, if he's going to have a solid year with the Pens and his trade stock is going to be high once again, why not sell him off? Because you'll still have Chris Letang and also Harrison Brunick. He's going to be pushing Karlsson to be move up into that top 4 of the defense. And last thing here in hockey, at least while the Penguins, they may, start sucking royally here soon. At least the Rangers, for the time being, they're down there with us. The Penguins a part of making NHL history as the New York Rangers become the first team in NHL history to get shut out in each of their first 3 home games of the season. The Pens, they beat them 3-0 opening night. Then the Washington Capitals, 3 days ago, they beat the Rangers 1-0 in the Garden. And then last night, the Rangers lost 2-0 to the Edmonton Oilers. So the Pens, a part of history there. And the Mike Sullivan New York Rangers off to as bad as a start as you can have on home ice this year. All right, 15 of you still in here right now. Glad you guys are still here. Going to try to catch up on your comments here before we log off for the night, and talking about the extra Pittsburgh sports news and PFF. All of you chime in. You all feel the same way about PFF as I do. Very, very lucky. Boz got back up. Yeah, you watch his leg slip like that. That could have been a knee, could have been an ankle, could have been a ton of different things. Thankfully, he was able to pop right back up. I would not be surprised if he was one of the first to where he didn't even get off his all of his equipment before he was sending an email or a letter or something like that to the NFLPA. Yeah, in the training facility too. Yeah, not the best for the Steelers, but that grass was just abysmal. The training facility at the Steelers, the grass at the training facility, that apparently I heard was 10 times better than the field at Acrisure, so they need to figure it out over there. Yeah, that was the only concern. Yeah, Boz, he's been like automatic. Would you expect anything else? You lose him, that's a big blow. More, than any other team possibly in the entire league. Boz extremely clutch. We will need that in the second half. Everybody will need it at that point. Concept here. I'm a Pitt grad who thinks Pitt needs to build their own stadium, just knock over the casino for it. I'm wondering if Pitt pays Rooney and the Steelers to use Heinz Stadium. Money talks. Yeah, I mean, in Oakland, I think is where this, stadium needs to go for Pitt. Just right now, where are you going to find the land? I mean, they just built not too long ago the Peterson Event Center, and then you got a bunch of different, learning buildings and dormitories and housing facilities. So right now, I just wonder. I think that's the problem with Pitt. I don't think they have too much room to build a legitimate stadium worth building. So hopefully it gets figured out sooner rather than later. I would love to go, see a Pitt game at a, Pitt stadium with, it being on campus and having that true college football experience. Sick of Flacco, says Lance. 20 years to get rid of Brady, and now this guy will not go away. Maybe, they can hit him hard enough to where he retires after the game here on tomorrow night. And Flacco F the Ravens. Yep, knew you were going to come in with that, Flacco, as always. Spencer Anderson trick play for a touchdown incoming. That'd be insane. Make sure someone jots that down. If Spencer Anderson, a trick play touchdown comes his way, I will go nuts here on screen because that will be absolutely a spectacle to watch. Spencer, a beast. Run game took a bit to step up. Harmon holds blocks. Is getting the run defense look much better. I don't see DBs making every tackle anymore. Yeah, I mean, I think, especially with Jaylen Warren, I mean, we saw him run over Ronnie Hickman on the Browns secondary on Sunday. With Spencer Anderson and Darnell Washington, you let those guys in the offensive line take out, the D-line and the linebackers. I'm going to take 10 times out of 10 Jaylen Warren bulldozing a defensive back and still moving than anything. Same thing might go for Caleb Johnson when he gets that mean streak to his game. So that's what I love about the run game. It's that Warren, he's now starting to get some forcible first contact from DBs, which is going to help break bigger gains and bigger runs. Last couple comments here. My dad saying, thank you, love you too. Probably will be in that chair at some point tomorrow night here. Wouldn't have it any other way. Browns or Steelers, Bengals. Hopefully Steelers, they will be up by a ton by then. Switching accounts, gotta grab beer. It's all right. Flacco, I was doing some work at my desk while listening. All done now. Thoughts were on tape delay. It's all right. I think that's going to wrap things up here, ladies and gentlemen. Tons of talking tonight, and trust me, I'm not complaining here. Lots of you in the comments right now. I appreciate that. As always, on for an hour, 42 minutes and counting right now. So I think we're going to wrap up things there tonight. Got a lot of more talking to do over the next 2 nights. We'll be live tomorrow night. Again, Steelers, Bengals. I will be live for that. There won't be any sort of live stream like this tomorrow. We will just go live a little bit before kickoff, and we'll talk about any news of the day, I'm sure, during commercial breaks and maybe even halftime, stuff like that. So, gonna wrap things up there. We'll be back tomorrow night. No news live stream like this. No SESR 60 tomorrow night as well. And we'll be back for Steelers Bengals on Thursday Night Football tomorrow night, and then Friday we will have a ton to talk about. Steelers, Penguins. We'll have lots to talk about those teams. So thank you all for joining me. One final time, please hit that subscribe button. Up to 602 subscribers on the channel. So hopefully more coming tomorrow night. Turn on notifications, like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment in the comments section after the fact as well. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR, Facebook, Instagram, and X, and come back later on tonight for SESR 60. We'll see what time I get that out this evening. So thank you. Have a good rest of your Wednesday night. Back here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Steelers, Bengals. We're almost there. We all can't wait. 24 hours. A little over 24 hours. About 25 hours from now, actually, is when kickoff will commence. So back here tomorrow. Join me. All of you back here. Let's do it again. See you tomorrow night. Peace.